Hi there, and welcome to Connect, the weekly podcast of the California MBA featuring one-on-one interviews with movers and shakers in the mortgage industry. I'm Susan Milazzo, CEO of the California MBA, and I'm very happy that you can join us today. Before we get to today's guest, I'd like to thank our Connect podcast sponsor, Accelerate.
Thanks, Susan, and thanks for listening. This is Josh Wren, CEO and founder of Accelerate. We're grateful for our partnership with the CMBA and are committed as a company to help lenders close more loans. We do this with our customer experience platform that has a CRM, lead management, marketing, automation, robust content library, desktop and mobile applications. We do this to help you engage and stay connected to your current borrowers, referral partners, past borrowers, and potential new ones. If you want to find out why we're the fastest growing CRM provider in the mortgage industry, please reach out to us and ask for a demo.
Okay, thank you, Josh. I appreciate that. And that brings me to today's guest. I'm very happy to welcome Andrew Rhodes with MCT. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, happy to. MCT has been a big part of the California MBA for many years now. I've known Tom Farmer, Phil Rosori, Chris Anderson, and Andrew, you and I are just getting connected. So I'd love to get us started and kind of find out a little bit about your background and how you got in the mortgage industry.
Yeah, so I don't know. In college, I was kind of wanting to get into finance. I just wasn't sure exactly, where I wanted to land. So I think I started, kind of just studying economics and just going down that path, knowing I wanted to be in finance. And I got an internship with the CFA because I was thinking about being a financial advisor. So I started working with the financial advisor, and one of the things that I learned from him, and then also his counterparts, and it was actually a good piece of wisdom for somebody coming fresh out of college, was like, hey, get a job in finance doing something else, and build a book of business before you just hop in to do something cold. And that was that actually really resonated with me because when I was in college, there was a point in time where I took a summer job and I was doing door-to-door sales. So I knew that doing cold calls and doing the hard sales, it wasn't really for me. So luckily enough, MCT was posting at the Career Center at UCSD, and right when I graduated, I was just filling out applications, and luckily enough, I got hooked up with Phil Rosori, who's been a great mentor all these years. And it's just been an awesome ride.
Yeah, I can imagine. I believe that you were one of the original, in the first group of employees at MCT. As I said, I've known Tom and Phil and Chris for a good long while. I think it's unique to see somebody have that much legacy, with one company. It's great to see in the industry that we tend to see a lot of movement in. But talk to us about what it's like to be a part of the company that's grown to be such an incredible industry leader over the years.
Yeah, it's been like I said, it's been a fun ride, and I think the leadership at MCT has just been great, and it's just kind of allowed me to focus on working with our clients, improving our processes, and making everything kind of easier, and kind of helping to improve what we can provide to the clients and to the lenders. So I think the reason that I've kind of just stayed with MCT for so long is just because of the leadership has been the biggest thing for me. And in all reality, there's a lot of we hear about a lot of people moving in the industry, but we've done a really great job with retention, at MCT, and just kind of building a family of employees, and all just kind of have the same philosophy, really, in terms of providing great service to our clients, and trying to figure out the best and most efficient ways to kind of help out our lenders. And that really is kind of the driving force behind all of us really sticking together and kind of pushing MCT to where it's at in the industry today. It really has been organically kind of grown. I think we were founded in 2003. I started in 2005, and it's just been a lot of ups and downs. We saw 2008 where we were down to a couple employees, and now we're at 2022 and we're still doing well, keeping our employees, and trying to make sure that we're still providing the same core benefits to our lenders. At the end of the day, is just trying to improve their profitability, improve their experience, and provide the best analytics that we can to them. So it's really been, like I said, really just kind of organic growth through and kind of just the leadership has just kind of helped it evolve to where it's at today.
Yeah, it's great to believe in that corporate culture. That'll keep you connected there. I think that I hear that from other people that have had long terms at a certain company. It's like I blend with the leadership, and this is where I want to pursue my career. So I think that's great. What are some of the favorite aspects of what you get to do in the industry?
It's a great question. I think the thing that I really do like the best about the industry is just the way that it just constantly evolves. Seeing how it the ups and downs that we went through 2007, 2008, seeing all the different changes that we had into 2010, 2011, taper tantrum in 2013, the end of or the beginning of QE in 20. So it always feels like there's something new in the industry that's keeping you on your toes, right? It's a lot of the I think the golden treadmill where you're just kind of doing the day to day and kind of keeping busy, but there's also these other nuances to the industry that always just captivate me and always kind of keep me interested. So that's one reason I really do like the industry, is just kind of having having all that not I can't really say flexibility, but just having all the different aspects of the industry. You have many ways to spend your time, and there's times where I wish I had more time to devote to different aspects of the industry instead of focusing solely on what we do. But I think outside of that, I think it's just really getting to talk to lenders, educate people on what we do. I was just up at a camping trip with my family over the last weekend, and one of my uncles, he's like, "So what do you do?" I was like, "Well," that usually comes with like a 15-minute explanation, but let me try to dumb it down for you, or let me try to make it as simple as possible. So after I, talked to him for about 5 minutes, he's like, "Oh, I get it. I see what you do." So it's
That's
good
so
to kind
funny.
of, but it's also good to talk to people in the industry and kind of just, especially with our client webinars that we do, industry webinars. I think just kind of bringing things up to the surface that people understand and people, have in the back of their heads, and it just kind of solidifies what they're thinking, or kind of makes them look at things from a different perspective. Having that kind of feedback has been really great, and I love kind of being able to talk to people and get that feedback, because it just kind of helps me. I don't know, it helps me with my kind of passion for the industry, right? Because it keeps
Yeah.
me involved. So
That's funny that you say that, because I share the same thing about people, the same fashion. You've had this job for a long time, and it's the same. It's always changing. There's always something new. There's new challenges. I mean, there's profitable times, there's challenging times, there's great times, bad times, but it's always something new. You're never doing the same thing over and over again. I think that the mortgage industry it's one of the industries very unique in that way.
Yeah, because like I said, you have your day-to-day stuff that you're always gonna do, but then all of a sudden you got these, off-the-wall questions, or these different things that you need to look into to figure out. So
Yeah.
always keeping you on your toes.
So we're definitely in one of those years that are keeping our lender members on their toes, right? 22 has not been our stellar year as compared to the last handful, but given the current market, what are some of the conversations that you're having with your clients right now?
Yeah, I think it's just of course we're talking to them about low volumes and just kind of understanding that, hey, projections were set here. Now let's change the expectations and let's refocus our energy to kind of look at where volumes are going to be. Um, Speaking of, having banner years in 21 and 20, I mean, there's a lot of turmoil that happened, over those years, and there's been a lot of, a lot of new policies that have come into effect that have kind of shaken up the market, and there's still changes coming through that are continuing to shake up, what we're doing, even if, even in, the time that we're in right now in low volume. So, I think resetting expectations is a tough thing to do, but it's just kind of making sure that everybody understands that there's a lot of a lot less production out there to be had, and fighting for every basis points and trying to make sure that you're you have the proper support to provide the best price out to the originator and down to the borrower is how you're going to get that production. And that's kind of where we're able to step in and talk to them and say, yeah, there's a lot of volatility, but you also have to look at it from from this angle and that angle as well. So they're not easy conversations all the time, but I mean, at least the guys that we work with are smart, educated people, and they understand kind of what's going on in the market to a certain degree, and understand kind of the where we're going to be at 3-6 months from now, or where we're expecting to be at 3 to 6 months from now. So
Right.
I think being able to kind of manage expectations, I think is a good thing to do. And then also, talking to clients, a lot of clients have been coming up to us about, hey, how can I lock in this rate today, for 12 months, or how can I do a 6-month lock, right? So it's, I mean, going back to the getting hit from different angles in the industry, that was a big one. It's like, hey, what kind of long-term lock process do you guys have, and can you guys help us out with? So, going through those calls and talking to clients about different products that all of their originators were asking them for, and just saying, hey, this is what we're seeing from other clients, and this is kind of how they're doing it, and this is kind of what we recommend. So it's good to kind of be, talking to these guys and just being able to share information like that. And it makes people feel like they're not in this alone. And I
Right.
know a lot of people understand that they're not in it alone, but just to hear it from other people, I think helps them helps them with the resetting of the expectation.
Right. And, MCT has just been such a, a trusted partner in the industry for so long. I mean, this is definitely, definitely a time when the services of a company like MCT is really shining, right now for those lenders that need that support. So we're going to be welcoming you to participate on our capital markets panel that we're going to be offering on our Western Secondary Market Conference just a week away from the launch of this podcast. So we're very excited about that conference. Can you give us a little preview of what you might be sharing on that session?
Yeah, no, well, I'm very excited to be on that panel. It's going back to educating people and just talking to people about what we do. It's going to be fun. So, I think it's going to be a great panel. I think there's some senior people on there that we're going to be able to kind of help talk about what we're seeing in the industry. I think trends year over year. From a volume perspective, or it's going to be some highlights. I think looking at rates year over year, I don't think it's going to blow anybody away. I think a lot of people have already seen it, but I think just having having some pieces of this data just to kind of show us where we were at a year ago, just to do like a quick overview, and to not to go back to setting expectations, but just to make sure everybody's on the same page in terms of where the market's at. That's going to be a piece of it. I think we're also going to touch on, different products that are out in the market. So, we're going to touch on probably from a high level, touch on what we're seeing in the industry with arms. And I think, one thing that's pretty interesting that I'm really excited to see and kind of see how it comes to fruition is what the industry is going to come up with in terms of second liens for all the equity that people have built up in their housing. I mean, that's going to be an exciting product for a lot of borrowers, and it's going to be interesting to see how investors are looking to provide that to the community. So I think that's definitely going to come up, and then competition and risk in the industry. I think those are big kind of high level pieces that we'll probably touch on and dig into a little bit more. So I think it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be a good panel. I think we're going to cover a lot of stuff from a high level, but there's some pieces that I think we'll get into the weeds, and I think it's going to be good information for people.
Yeah, that capital markets panel has been, that's always kind of the shining light of that conference. So I'm excited for you to be a part of it this year as well. One of the things I also want to talk with you about, MCT has been a long-time supporter of the association, very active with us on different levels. What can you share with our listeners about the importance of a company supporting their state MBAs?
Well, I mean, I think it's extremely important, right? Because not everybody has a voice, and that's where the CMBA does a great job of advocating for our industry, right? To make sure that we're all, being treated fairly. There's no lenders in the state of California, which is the largest lending market in the country, that wants to be treated unfairly. So I mean, it's a huge effort, and to have the advocacy of the CMBA is it's huge and instrumental to what we do. So I think that the more that you guys can support the CMBA, it just kind of helps the whole industry out.
It's what we appreciate that. It is definitely a full-time job, one that keeps me very busy. Well, thank you, Andrew, for spending some time with us today on the Connect podcast. I appreciate you being a guest and look forward to seeing you at Western Secondary Market Conference.
Yeah, we'll be seeing you here soon.
Not too much longer. And thank you to all of you for joining us today. To access any of our Connect podcast episodes, you can follow us on our YouTube channel. We're also available on SoundCloud, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. That's it for this week. We'll see you next week on Connect.